staff or not, I wasn't going down without a fight. Pivoting on my right foot, I lunged at Zeran and jutted out my elbow. I had intended to hook him in his side, but he was ready for my move. When he predictably stepped back to dodge my attack, I shoved my palm into his chest and concentrated hard on drawing out my magic. It was so much easier with the staff. I could snap my fingers and bam, it was there. This was like trying to pull a loose tooth that still refused to budge. Instead of the big bang I was hoping for, sparks of magic lit up my hand for a hot second, then quickly fizzled out. Ouch! Eli cringed on the sideline, where he, Frankie, and Eleniby stood watching our match. Come on, Maya! You've got this! Winston and another group of kids on the bleachers burst into laughter, and I cringed in embarrassment. Tay whispered something that made Winston laugh even harder. Candace yawned like Zeran and I were boring her to tears. Despite everything that went down last summer and at the beginning of the school year, some of the godlings weren't taking the threat from the Lord of Shadows seriously. Ogun stood underneath the basketball rim with a clipboard in his hands, wearing a blue and white tracksuit. General, his massive bloodhound, slept at his feet with one floppy ear draped over his eyes. Ogun scribbled something down. He was always taking notes. I wondered what he'd written about me today. Maya Abiola continues to struggle to call her magic without her staff. How disappointing. A knot was growing in my stomach just thinking about it. I had to get my head right. My very reputation was at stake. Zeran and I had a bet to see who won the most matches whenever we were paired up. Best of 3. I'd won the first round, but this second match was not going as planned. Is that all you got? Zeran asked mockingly as he went on the offensive. When he came at me, I ducked and swept out my leg. This time I connected, and he hit the floor, landing hard on the mat. He grimaced as he pushed himself up again. Who's lucky now? We circled each other, both looking for the upper hand. Before my eyes, blue bled across his brown skin until he was the color of cobalt. Small horns grew from his forehead and spiraled away from his face. A barbed tail shot out from his backside. Jet black wings sprouted from between his shoulder blades through the slits in his sparring uniform. He dropped his human mask and transformed into his true self, the Darkbringer. Several kids swooned, which only made me roll my eyes. He was such a show-off. Only last summer, Darkbringers had attacked our neighborhood. Now I was friends with one. So much had changed in only a few months. I went from not knowing about magic to being a guardian of the veil in training. I found out that the Lord of Shadows had killed Papa's first family over 1,000 years ago, all except my half-sister, Eleniby. He'd put her in a deep sleep and used her godling power to tear the veil. This evil overlord thing was serious business. Zeran whipped out his tail, catching me off guard. It sliced through the air an inch from my face. "Hey, no fair," I said, diving out of the way. "I can't use my staff, so why should you get to use your, extra limb?" "You'll have to deal with plenty of extra limbs when you fight the other Darkbringers," he retorted, his voice annoyingly calm. "And they won't go easy on you." I didn't know why he had to sound so sinister about it, like I didn't already know that. And, newsflash, I didn't expect or want him to go easy on me. I turned to Ogun, who glanced up from his clipboard. "I'll allow it, as long as you're careful with your barbs, Zeran." "Careful with his barbs," I murmured under my breath. The same barbs could cut through my uniform and rip the skin from my back.